everything too. So, okay. So, hi, Rick. Can you,
Hi, Kaylyn.
how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Life is
Excellent.
good.
That's great.
Yeah.
Would you mind taking a minute to introduce yourself?
Yep.
Tell us what company you're with and all that good stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, Kaylyn, thank you. Yeah, so my name is Rick DeMario. So I'm a mortgage lender for Sunflower Bank. I've been doing lending for over 20 years. So I just had some great opportunities to work with you, Kaylyn, for many, many years. And what I have now with Sunflower Bank, these incentive programs are really fantastic, not only for sellers, but buyers both. It kind of helps on both sides as well, too.
That's great. Well, yeah, I know that we have recently discovered that one of my listings is in
Mhm.
an area of yours that
Yep.
provides special financing. Can you talk
Yes.
about that?
Yeah, I can. So yours specifically, so there's actually two incentive programs that we have. There's what's called a seller saver incentive. That's a 1% credit. That's based off a loan amount. And then the other one that we're talking about right now for your property is what's called a CRA incentive. And CRA stands for Community Reinvestment Act. So going more in detail, what that is, Kaylin, is that in certain geographic areas, there's kind of a push to promote home ownership as well too, and specifically in designated areas. So what Sunflower Bank has done, and and to help our what's called a CRA rating, we want to help again promote this, get loans underneath our books, and then have our borrowers or clients reach out to us and help them out. And how it works, it's really just fantastic. Is that it's a credit it has to be under conforming loan limits. So right now, a loan needs to be under 802,000, so which is just amazing. It's all the way up to that
It is,
amount.
yeah.
But what happens is that if someone finds a particular specific address and it falls within the CRA geographic area, again, it's property specific, is that they will get a 1.75% lender credit that can be used either for closing costs or to buy down the rate. So, I just had one today for an example. I mean, it was a $850,000 house. And, if you did, let's say someone put, $50,000 down, they had an $800,000 loan. We're going to provide them with a $14,000 lender credit to
Wow.
be used to buy down the rate, to cover closing costs, or a little bit of combination of both. And currently right now it's dropping the rate over half a point
Mm.
on a 30-year fixed. Obviously things can change, but just today it's amazing. We're looking at about 5.5% for a 30-year fixed, where everyone else
Wow.
is going to be at like at 6
Yeah.
as well too. The wonderful thing about this is that it's no income limits, so someone could be making $1 million,
Wow.
but if this property falls within it, and obviously they qualify for the loan, they're going to get this
Yeah.
credit. It's not a second mortgage. It's not a grant. So it's nothing that we need
Mm.
to be kind of, pay attention to. Um, and so it does not have to be a first time home buyer either.
Wow. Yeah.
It can also be used for a primary loan, a secondary home loan, or investment loan. So
Wow.
that's another key component of it. And here's the biggest one that I find is just in this market is that most other banks, lenders, they may have something like a CRA program credit as well too, but theirs is specific to an income and specific to purchases only. Our CRA can be used for refinance.
Mm.
So you can see the kind of the magnitude there is that if someone buys a home today and they're worried about interest rates, they get the best rate possible. We cover closing costs. A year from now, let's say rates drop another half a point or whatever, they can use that credit all over again
Wow.
to lower the rate and cover the costs. And
So
and
they can
really,
use it
it's
twice.
specific to some. Yeah, so they could do it multiple times if rates
Wow.
keep on falling.
Okay.
And again, being no cost, this is an advantage for the seller to be able
Mm-hmm.
to work with you as an agent. Again, Kaylin, at that property like Parker, your Parker listing, you can now market that to attract buyers, but for the seller, it doesn't cost them anything.
Right.
It just happens to be an advantage for them where they have their house listed or where they own it.
Wow.
And it really makes a big impact because not only a better interest rate, that because it helps them qualify. Maybe the interest rate is a turning point for them, and they can't qualify for a certain loan as well too. And this can maybe bridge that gap. And another thing I want to share about this, it can be used for FHA, VA, and obviously conventional loans as well too. So it's really just we're going to be able to fit 90-95% of anyone that's looking for a home is going to be able to qualify for that.
Wow. That is that's a lot more than I realized that.
Yes.
I mean, thanks for explaining that because that's really awesome. It seems like everyone should be looking to buy in the locations that you have this.
They really are. And I think an agent or a buyers, they owe it to themselves if they haven't worked with Sunflower Bank before to give us a try and just say, hey, does this address fall within this area? And if they do, it's like I said, it's free money.
Right.
It's for them. And it just has all these positives. There's really no negative to it.
Yeah.
And again, there's maps out there. I mean, so there's tens of thousands of homes within the Denver metro area. And that's kind of our footprint.
Okay.
And that's where we can do these loans is that, I mean, you put I get the address, I put in the site, and then it tells me if it's eligible for our grant, not a grant, but our lender credit as well too.
Wow.
I do want to also state is that's property specific. You can also get this CRA 1.75% credit if they become income eligible. So in the Denver metro area, if someone is qualifying, their qualifying income, Kaylyn, is under $104,000, now it doesn't matter where the property is.
Oh.
They can still get this credit. Like I'm doing one right now. It's just they make less than $100,000. They're buying a property that is not eligible, but I can give them this full credit as well too. So again, we can kind of bridge the gap sometimes, on property or income.
Sure. Wow, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about the CRA program? Is it specific to Sunflower Bank? Just tell me more about that.
Yeah. Again, it's all banks they have this CRA rating. So it's not just specific to Sunflower Bank.
Okay.
So they're going to want to be able to have so many loans so they can show the regulators that, hey, we're trying to do loans or execute loans in these certain areas to help build up, home ownership. And again, it's to help it's not only helps the borrower and the seller, it also helps the bank as well too, because we in turn get a better rating. And the reason why you want an excellent rating with the CRA for that is that allows us to then the banks to have more products. It can offer more incentives. It can maybe grow in mergers. So there's an incentive. Obviously, there's a method to the madness. Why we want to do this as well too. And again, some banks, credit unions, they may have to do this same requirement for the CRA, but they're not offering anything as well too. It can vary from lender to lender. Some lenders may have a greater credit, sometimes a lower credit. And again, this could change year to year as well too.
Right.
It's and the property can change year to year. Is that a property may not or may be eligible this year, but come next year, new maps get rolled out.
Oh wow.
It could be out, and now, it's so that's why I say that I should say urgency, but for people to take advantage of this is just an incredible moment right now. With prices where they are, rates where now that we can get lower, it can make it more affordable for them.
Right. Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah. Would you mind showing us the map that you have of the local Denver area?
Yeah, I can do that.
That's awesome.
Ooh, I'm just actually looking for the share. I can't find my share.
Oh, it's the little arrow. It's the little, did I allow you to share? You know what? If you send me the link, I can even pull it up and share maybe here.
Okay.
Let's. And then,
all right, let's do this. Going to.
Yeah, you can text it or email it.
I'm going to email it to you right now.
Perfect.
It's going to show. It's going to be like a forward that I sent you because my manager had sent it to me. So all you have to do is click on that link.
Okay, no problem. for me. You tell us more about Sunflower
Mhm.
Bank.
Yeah, yeah. Let me share a little bit. I joined Sunflower Bank about 4 months ago. I've always really been in kind of the bank setting, and the reason why I came over to Sunflower Bank is that they're a local community bank. They've got branches in DTC. They got Longmont, Golden, Boulder, Broomfield. So they're growing. So what they're obviously trying to do is, I saw the opportunity to be growing because I've always been in lending. So it's a great chance to showcase what Sunflower can do. And they're fantastic in the process. They're fantastic in just the closing itself, the products that they offer as well too. And the terms, because a lot of times people are going to look for rate and closing costs.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell them that's the two things you look for. It's one of the best ones out there. And I looked at something for Sunflower Bank. They actually have these tangible, incentives. It's these programs.
Wow.
So that is real money,
Yeah.
for it. And I saw that just what they represent. They got a great presence in regards to commercial banking, just banking in general, for investments. But obviously, being in the lending side, it's rewarding knowing that I'm in a spot that they're going to help me through. They're going to help with these programs. They're going to get things closed quickly. And again, Sunflower's Bank's been around for a long time.
Okay.
and we're in multiple states, Kansas, Texas, Arizona, Colorado here, Washington, and we can lend in I think 44 states. So
Oh, wow.
pretty much we can go anywhere.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just been a fantastic
Is
spot.
that CRA program available everywhere?
Yeah, I was just going to say it's in our footprint states, like the Texas, the Kansas. Those will be, but the other ones that are not where we don't have a branch presence, we can lend, but we're not going to have the CRA credit for it.
Most of the people who are going to be watching this are likely in Colorado because we're both here. So, okay, I've got it pulled up here. Let me see if I can share my screen. Here we go.
And then I'll just speak to it, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can zoom in. You just tell me what you want me to do.
Yeah, you can zoom in, see, because look at the shaded parts. So that's kind of the Denver metro area.
Okay.
So, and it's we color coordinated it just because of county. You can see Adams County, Arapahoe, Denver.
Okay. Yeah.
Those are the ones that are eligible. So these are all areas. And again, you can look at this. I mean, there's thousands upon thousands of homes that are now going to be eligible for this credit.
Yeah.
So as long as obviously this is a general map, and we want to be more specific. If someone's looking at a property, I would verify it under my website for it. But just take an example. I mean, I know there's right where you're looking. There's some really nice areas that that will qualify. And when buyers are looking and they're looking at, hey, where do I want to live? This could maybe be an influence for them as well too. Is that this could say, hey, you know what? I really want to live here, and I notice that it qualifies. I can now afford a home that's not 500, but maybe I can afford a home that's 600.
Right.
And that way, it's going to look good there.
Yeah. I mean, it's an amazing product. I know that a lot of buyers are familiar or have heard of CHFA, which is a Colorado state.
Yes. Colorado Housing Finance Agency.
Yeah.
Correct.
That has a similar help for people, but depending on the program of that, you have to pay it back at the end.
That's correct. Yes.
So this one is awesome that you don't have to pay it back. So I'm going to scroll in here and show people where the listing that I have is. And I think it's
upward. I think you got to go north, right?
No,
you're
Parker. Parker.
That's right.
This is Parker.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
It is like right in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so there's this little pocket in Parker, these two little pockets that are eligible, and my listing fell into it. So that's how you and I got talking about it the other day. And luckily, we actually went under contract 2 nights ago.
Fantastic.
So, but yeah, it's I'm glad that we were able to talk and learn about it. So yeah. So would you, if someone was interested in doing this, would they'd reach out to you, and would you be able to send them the map, or if they sent you the address they're looking at, that you could
Yes,
look it
it's
up?
better if it's better for them to send an address if they're actually looking at a property. It's better for them to send the address. Now, when they're working with you and they're looking, let's say, for an area, then
Mm-hmm.
Kaylyn, you would be able to show this map to them and say, hey, if you look in this area, this is the neighborhoods that will qualify for it.
Okay.
And then what happens there is that then I typically get your buyers or any buyer pre-approved, knowing that they could work either way. I mean, if they are eligible for the income, then they're fine anywhere. Or if they
Okay.
have to be property specific, you can show them with an app as well too.
Right. Awesome. Well, that's really cool. Thank you for taking the time to show us that and tell everyone about it. I think, you mentioned earlier that you and I have been working together for a lot of years now, and I have not had any of my clients, or I have not had familiarity with Sunflower Bank, but I thoroughly trust you, and I know that you would only go to a place that you feel good about and you believe in, and so I just want to put that out there for people that I trust Rick implicitly, and I think he'll do a great job if anyone is interested in calling him, and even if you're not using the program, it sounds like you've got some other options that you can help people out with.
Yeah, I'll just add one more that is really, again, if someone's they don't qualify for a property and they don't qualify income, I also have an incentive that I help promote for agents who've got a property. Is what's called a seller saver, Kaylyn. And what it does, it's a 1% lender. Basically the same requirements as the other one. It can be done on a primary, second home, or investment. No income limits. But what it does, it allows a seller, so if they're looking to list, they list with you and they're wondering, how do I attract buyers? I can provide this to them as a marketing combination with you and say, hey, we got a 1% lender credit that we can provide. Again, it's called a seller saver. It really, so it's nothing we don't pay the seller, but what it is, it's a credit that we offer. If it's again, as long as it's a conventional loan, we're going to offer 1%. So a $500,000 loan, they're going to get $5,000.
Yeah.
So a buyer is going to feel, that they have an incentive to work with. The seller is going to be able to offer this without actually paying out of their own pocket as well too. And this will actually work for jumbos, high-priced homes with jumbo loans, but it's capped at $5,000 at that time. Okay. So if someone's doing a jumbo loan, if they're over that 802,000, they're going to be capped at still $5,000, but still, $5,000 still can cover all closing costs and everything else.
Free money to them.
It's free money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, excellent. Well, thank you so much again, and hopefully, I'm going to throw up our information for people so they can reach out to you if they want to get in touch, or they can reach out to me and I can send your information. And sounds good.
That would be fantastic, Kaylyn. I look forward to it. I hope we can help a lot of people.
Yeah, it sounds like a great opportunity. All right, thanks, Rick.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right.